Good morning. How is everybody today? It is Thursday morning. I have a busy day today. I had a busy day yesterday. Yeah, I've had a busy week. It's okay. It's okay. It's all okay. Okie dokie. So my name is Red Moon Eagle. You are watching Daily Devotions with Red Moon Eagle. If you are new here, I encourage you to hit like and subscribe. I do daily devotions live Monday through Friday most days. So far I've been running right around 6:30. Occasionally I do 7 a.m., sometimes at 5:30. It's kind of random. And I don't apologize for that. It's just the way it is. I am a psychic catalyst. I'm a teacher, and if you would like to check out my website, it is elementalhealingmt.com, and you're welcome to check out my services. I am also working on, just FYI, for those of you that have been waiting, I am really, really close. Hopefully, in the next couple weeks, I will have an online course available. I'm going to try to keep it affordable, but it is the equivalent of a 20-hour course, which is pretty significant. We'll see how far we get. I am also working with Body of Nine, and we're working on a course there. So that should be hopefully rolled out this year sometime. And on Fridays, except this Friday, I don't know if we're doing them every other Friday. Again, we're just kind of winging it. My friend Safriana over at Living Luna and I are doing a conversation podcast. So it shows up on YouTube. It might show up on my social media, Facebook, Instagram. We're still making sure everything's linked together, but it definitely shows up on my YouTube. And if you are interested, you are welcome to check out my podcast playlist. And I am really excited to bring you information that helps create a discussion to untangle some of the fear-based paradigms. Okay, so today we are going to do our cards and we'll talk about them. Sacred self-care. Our card here is health checkup. Mantra: I am healthy in my mind, body, spirit, and I'm going to add emotion to that. Good health empowers us to thrive in all areas of our lives. Take a moment to tune in with yourself, scan your body, and feel what is right and what needs attention. The journal prompt: what aspect of your health is your body calling you to focus on? I actually had a health checkup just the other day, and I have to share this. Like, I'm pretty good about knowing my body, knowing what my body needs. If I don't feel good, I rest. Because I've been in that place where I've just ignored things and I've pushed way past my body's capacity to handle it. Well, I had a cold a couple weeks ago, and I ended up with strep, and so I took antibiotics for that, and then they didn't give me enough. So when I went in for my health check yesterday, I thought I was better. For the most part, I had been feeling better, except I had this ongoing headache, and I was slowly getting a little bit more lethargic and tired in the evenings. And sure enough, I have a sinus infection with a little bit of bronchitis. So legit, that I now have a secondary infection. So it's really important that I knew I had a health check coming up. So I didn't make an extra appointment. I probably should have. I probably should have seen somebody last week when the first, well, actually, I ran out of antibiotics on Friday, so that would have been silly. But legit, right? Like, go see a doctor, especially when you get up into your 40s and you have changes in your period. If you're a man, if you have any changes in your sexual drive, if you have trouble urinating, or your gut doesn't work, or you're gaining weight randomly, go see somebody. There's no reason. We have really good medicine. Now, we do also have the convergence of allopathic and naturopathic. So there are doctors now that understand cohesive preventative care. If you have gone to an allopathic doctor and they're like, yeah, let's put you on metformin, yeah, eventually you're just going to have diabetes, go see somebody else. Go see a nutritionist that has naturopathic background, go talk to somebody that can help you not have a chronic illness if you can possibly avoid it. You don't have to be sick. You do not have to have diabetes forever. I mean, there is a threshold, but I have seen people turn around type 2 diabetes in amazing ways, working with naturopathic physicians, good nutrition. I'm not saying that they can cure everything, because they can't, but you know, there's a place for the convergence of allopathic scientific medicine and preventative medicine, which I kind of lump all naturopathic physicians into, let's look at preventative and alternative solutions that are science-based. Okay, Animal Spirit Guidebook. Octopus. I love the octopus. Reaching, yearning, lacking boundaries and direction. The octopus signifies a wonderful perceptive mind paired with a lack of healthy boundaries. Unfortunately, this is a result of a well-intended but messy relationships. The octopus entwines itself into other people's business and shares their own without restraint. They believe that is what it means to be close. If you notice after spending time with someone that you feel drained or uneasy, the presence of octopus is at play. Begin to establish healthy boundaries. Be patient and firm. It may be a very old habit to change. When in balance, interested, engaged, and intelligent. When out of balance, needy, clingy, and lacks courage. To bring into balance, space oneself, talk therapy. You know, I've had some, well, I feel like I've talked about octopus before. I've had a couple really interesting experiences with octopus, and they are so smart, guys. I can't tell you, they are so smart. And they are one of the oldest creatures that is sentient that still exists today in an actual real 3D world. Touch it, feel it, taste it, see it, experience it. It's one of the entities that has lasted through cataclysms. It has lasted through major cataclysmic events on our world, and they are sentient, intelligent, amazing entities, and they are one of Mother Earth's earliest children form. The form itself is one of the earliest forms, and there are many entities that have come to Earth as one of our helpers, as these, you know, there's a lot of language out there, and I'm not going to repeat some of the language that creates a lot of like confusion, but entities that come from somewhere else, right? And they come into a human form. Many of them have spent time in an octopus form. And it is, so far as I understand, one of the few forms that is not a seeded form, for lack of a better description, that, or I'm not sure if it's seeded. I'll just rephrase that. I've never gotten clarification on that. I'm not sure if it's seeded. But it is one of Mother Earth's earliest sentient forms. So I don't think it's seeded. And if you have any questions about those statements, we can talk about it later. But they are so intelligent, they are so amazing, and I have seen entities come in from other places that come into the octopus form. Though, I will say, most of the time when I meet an octopus form, the entity within is from here. And many entities who have a drawing towards the octopus, that have a great honor and recognition of the octopus, recognize their sentience, recognize and honor their place in the world and their place in the ecosystem, and how they support us and how they reinforce our need and scientific understanding of what sentience is. Anyway, they're absolutely amazing. I love them. And they do represent, I think it's kind of funny. I've always talked about empaths as having tentacles. I've also never met an octopus that wasn't an empath. Just FYI, that's another key, lovely tidbit piece of information. And so it's wonderful that this particular author of this book picks up healthy boundaries, messy relationships, entwining themselves in other people's things. I've never met an empath that didn't have these amazing energetic tentacles that they reach out and they navigate their world with. And octopus do that in a real way as well. And so if you are entangled in other people's emotions as an empath, learn to use your feelers a little differently. And it can be, well, there's a lot of positive with this. I love octopus, so I just wanted to make sure I went through that because I read that this morning. I was, I have to talk about the empathy. Okay. Magic. Number 33, magic. The essence of this card is it represents the infinite intelligence of Great Spirit that makes up the fundamental fabric of the universe. We experience the evidence of this magic through synchronicity or meaningful coincidence. The invitation of this card, if it appears, you are invited to see the world through the eyes of wonder and awe, taking in the innocence of a child who knows all things are possible. Infinite potential exists in the great mind, and you are being invited to call it in and recognize the dance and synchronistic events, signs, symbols, and omens given to you through the oracle of the ordinary world. This is a sign that Spirit is reminding you that you co-create your world with a sacred partnership. Your part is to dream, to intend, to watch for the signs that show you what next action to take. Right now, it appears that you are on the right track to make your dreams come true. Great Spirit is listening and acting on your behalf. Pay attention. The medicine of this card is if you have forgotten to live in a world infused with magic. Perhaps you've become cynical, thinking you have to create your life all by yourself with no help. It's time to remember your relationship to Source. For you are a part of the story world, a living spark of spirit living on earth for this short time as an emissary of light. If you look back over your life, you will find many instances in which your actions alone are not the cause or out of the blue coincidence that led you to the new relationship, the job, or another moment. The answer is simple. If you can be like a little child and cultivate that wondrous curiosity, you will see the magic again and be amazed. Remember, magic is real and in everything. I think I've shared this before, but when I was a little kid, so there's a science, I don't even think she's considered science fiction. She's a fiction author. She's way past, a long time ago. Her name was Zena Henderson. And she wrote a book of short stories. She wrote several books on short stories, but one of the stories in one of her books is called The Believing Child. And my parents called me the believing child. And it was not a compliment. At least it did not seem to be a compliment. It seemed to be a great source of frustration because from very, very early, I understood that, well, there's two things that go on there. I was also very autistic and ADHD and not diagnosed properly, so there's that. But if you told me a thing, I believed the thing. And I was crushed every time I found that somebody had told me something that was not a truth in this 3D reality. And so there was an instance where I'm not recalling right off the top of my head, but somebody, I think it was my grandma, she gave me a star. It was a wooden dowel with a tinfoil star on the end. And I went to go play with it. And I came back into the room and I was absolutely crushed and devastated that I'd broken it because it didn't work. And I was so crushed and so devastated. And I had to have been somewhere between 2 and 3, I believe. Maybe I was a little bit older. There is a sense when you get older that we lose our belief and we lose our connection to the potential of what can be manifested, and we hold on to this fear, disappointment, shame, and grief. And I have never in my life lost my believingness and my connection to the possibilities of connection, the possibilities of magic, the possibilities of what could be. Now, we do have a 3D world that is very fear paradigm based, at least right now. As far as I know, with all the history I've read, it's been here a really long time. And I don't know that me and all of these entities that are here from other places can fix it, per se. But we can surely knock off a big chunk of that boulder that's in the way of people maximizing, a terrible word, believing and holding wonder and joy and bliss at the possibilities of what could be if that boulder were not in the way. There is an infinite connection of intelligence that we all draw from, no matter if you're caught in karma or not. And there's an amazing connection we all have to what you could fondly call the matrix of our world. And if you have belief and joy and connection, and you allow the synchronicities, the connections that come into your world to pull you forward and support you as you move forward, and if you can look at it with always this a little bit of wonder and awe. You know, I was saying something to somebody the other day, like, I'm never really truly surprised when some kind of universal event validates my experience. But yet, I'm still amazed. I'm still filled with this amazing, wow, that is so cool that that happened. Wow, that validated my experience. And yet I'm not surprised. I'm like, yeah, that was gonna happen. So there's a moment when validation happens that I go, oh my God, this is amazing. It's amazing that the world came together to create this moment to say, yes, you're doing what you should be doing, and this person has been helped by that, and this person had that validating moment, and this and this and this has happened. I'm amazed and I'm filled with joy when it happens and I get that validation. And then about a couple minutes later I go, yep, not surprised that happened. I saw that coming. Through that connection of awe and wonder, I can accept the things that happen, even the bad things. You know, I look back in my life and I've had some pretty awful things happen. And yes, they were traumatic and they were awful. And most of the time, when those things happened, even as they're happening, I think of the moment of the occurrence of this is happening for a reason. I don't know why. I'm momentarily confused. And then I go through the cycle of grief and anger and self-castigation and raging at the world and all, you know, 7 stages of grief. There's a whole bunch of them. Denial that I had anything to do with it, denial that it was my fault, or denial that it had purpose, or whatever it is, right? Like, you go through these cycles, and then as I'm going through the cycles, I'm untangling. What's the lesson? Is this part of my blueprint? Is this an intersection of somebody else's blueprint and my blueprint? Where is the connection of understanding? How do I unwind any karma that could possibly have occurred as I go through those stages? Am I releasing as I go so that I don't hold on to anything that doesn't belong to me? Am I making sure that whatever that thing that happened, what was the purpose? What was the reason? What was the lesson? Not just for me, but how can I carry that lesson forward? It's interesting. I was talking to somebody recently and they are like, wow, your daily devotions are full of stories. Like, how many lives have you lived? I'm like, well, that's the thing. Like, I've had all these amazing experiences. And I think many times these experiences that have made my life so rich have given me these experiences that I can turn into the lesson, the connection, the story to help someone else on their path. Maybe they're caught in karma and they've had one or two of the experiences I've had and they don't understand why, and they're caught in this grief, anger, karmic holding on to stuff that they don't need to hold on to. Anyway, so those are the cards today. They were kind of more individual, except when I put them together, this is what I see. I see that you need to have a baseline understanding of your health so that when something new happens, you can look at it from, is it an entanglement experience or is it something I can let go? Is something happening in my body that is based in fear? And can I let go of the fear and honor the joy and the wonder of what that experience taught me so that I don't have to hold on to the trauma and my health suffer? Because that does happen a lot. There's some amazing work that's been done in the last 10 years that is really starting to bubble up about trauma in the body and how to work through that through physiotherapy, through trauma therapy, and where it not just helps you in this life, but how that helps generational trauma, how that helps your children, helps you raise your children well, and how that energy can cascade. So yeah, that's today. I hope you all have a beautiful day, beautiful morning, and Astra has brought me 3 balls, so I should probably throw them. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you in prayer. Blessed be.